Hi, I'm Steve Bolton from Platinum Property Partners, and I'm here with David Smith from Anthony Gould and the Residential Landlord Association. David, why don't you just give us a little bit of background in terms of what you do for those two organisations?
Yeah, so I'm a partner at Anthony Gould Solicitors in London, and I specialise in residential landlord and tenant law, and I'm the policy director for the Residential Landlords Association, which again is more residential landlord and tenant law, but with a slightly different objective in that I'm of course trying to talk more about what the law's going to be, as opposed to what it is already.
Okay, so you've got two full-time jobs basically.
That is one way of putting it. I try not to put it that way to my wife.
So if you had a crystal ball,
Oh, wow.
two crystal balls.
I'd be a lot richer.
One's an optimistic crystal ball. So what advice would you give to people through rose-tinted spectacles of what the future might look like? And then we'll do the negative crystal ball and see how that goes.
Well, in any crystal ball, I think we have to say that multiple occupancy property and the private rent sector are set in stone. They must continue to exist. Even if you were to have a extremely left-wing government come into power tomorrow and say the PRS is out of here, unless they go around nationalising all the property, which they can't do. I mean, realistically, they might say they want to, but they can't really do it. You're still going to need that property for about 10 years. I mean, we can't possibly fix where we've put ourselves within 10 years. So there's at least a 10-year time, which is pretty good for any business, where this property is vital. And we'll need more of it. There are more people coming in, more and more people actually want to live in multiple occupancy property, which is high quality, because they enjoy the lifestyle. So there is very definitely an ongoing valid business model, which I think is a good thing. There will be more licensing, provided that works properly, and I think the government is starting to try to get a handle on a degree of consistency across local authorities. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. There is an uplift value to being a well-run licensed landlord. And in practice, the problem for a lot of landlords is not that they're regulated, it's that the guy next door isn't properly regulated. So if we can get rid of those bad people, one, it would improve the image of the sector anyway, which I don't see as being a particular problem. And two, of course, it would remove unfair competition, because these people are actually, in effect, out-competing people who are paying the full cost of regulation. So I don't see, those are challenges, but I think challenges are opportunities. And you know, and you would know this better than I would, in fact, it's those kind of challenges that lead to business opportunities and the opportunity for people to distinguish themselves and produce a service that people want to consume, and that's available. If you want to be really negative about it, you could say there'll be a massive business cost and a really bad government could effectively make the whole thing unprofitable. But I think that is improbable, because property is one of those things that has an innate base value. So even if it was unprofitable to operate my business on a day-to-day short-term basis, the underlying land value would remain the same. So I think it's difficult to say that it is relentlessly negative. Property is a long-term safe investment and always has been. That's why people do it.
Yeah.
You know, your other option is to buy bars of gold. You know, if you want something like long-term and safe. You know, the UK has a fixed size, and one of the nice things about an island is you don't get more of it. It's this size. You've got to use land efficiently, and the private rent sector does use land very, very efficiently. We need to be flexible. We need to think about the future and think positively about the future. And so if I was to be negative, I would say that actually the problem with negativity is negativity itself. People are being too negative about change. It's not productive to say I want things to be the way they've always been for the last 20 years. It's kind of boring, actually. And two, it's not very realistic.
Sure. Wonderful. Thank you, David. Some fantastic insights there from Anthony Gould, RLA. Really appreciate all the work you do for the sector, the support of the tenant tax campaign, and yeah, keep up the great work, and thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.